Listen to the audiobook In the Avu Observatory by Herbert George Wells. Level B1, Oxford Reading University.
The observatory at Avu in Borneo was located on a mountain, surrounded by a dark tropical forest full of mysteries. It was a little round building with a dome. It was the late 19th century, so the British still controlled the island. The scientists who worked in the observatory were English, while local people were their servants. Woodhouse stopped for a moment and breathed in the fresh air of a tropical night. It was so still that you could hear the locals laughing in their houses or some wild animals crying somewhere in the jungle. A lot of insects were flying around the lantern like little ghosts. The man was often thinking about these fascinating forests, full of wonders to explore. Thady, the main observer, had come down with a fever, so it was Woodhouse's turn to work. It was rather tiring. You had to sit still in an uncomfortable position for hours. With a heavy sigh, Woodhouse entered the building. It was an ordinary observatory with a light curved roof that could be turned from the inside. The telescope stood in the middle of the room, and there were some devices around it. The roof had a long, narrow hole that allowed the observer to see the sky. It was dark inside to make the stars look brighter. Woodhouse moved the roof, turned some wheels, and the telescope moved to a new position. The night was hot, so he took off his jacket. He put the lantern and his water bottle on the table and went to look upon the stars. The silent room was filled with a weak, pleasant light. Nothing was to be heard except the annoying noise of insects. Then the lantern went out and it got dark. That night, Woodhouse had to observe a particular group of distant stars in the Milky Way. His boss thought that one of those stars tended to change colors often. Woodhouse was fascinated with the view. Plenty of stars of various colors stood out against the darkness of space. The man was so amazed that he forgot about everything except the round field of the telescope. It seemed to him that he became a spirit floating with the stars. All of a sudden, the circle of sky went black for a second. Then everything went back to normal. "What a strange thing," said Woodhouse. "It must have been a bird." The next moment, the same odd thing happened. A series of blows of incredible strength made the tube shake. "What the hell was that?" Woodhouse cried in horror. Some black figure with big wings was trying to break into the dome through the hole. Then the sky became clear again, and only the strange sounds on the roof reminded him of some unknown animal. Woodhouse was frightened to death. He jumped up, shaking all over. He wondered if the creature was inside or outside. Whatever it was, it seemed large. A sudden movement on the roof made the telescope move. Woodhouse raised his arm, trying to define the creature's location. Could it see me? He thought with fear. He had been standing for a while, unable to move, when something flew right in front of his face. In the light of the stars, he could notice smooth skin that looked like oiled leather. The water bottle fell from the table and broke with a loud noise. Woodhouse was trying to calm himself down. It was just some mad night bird or a large bat, he concluded. Then he decided to take a risk and examine it better. He pulled a match out of his pocket and struck it. The next second, he faced a piece of brown fur and a huge wing rushing toward him. Then he was hit in the face, and the match fell out of his hand. A sharp claw cut his cheek. He was knocked down, and warm blood started flowing over his face. Looking for safety, the man climbed under the telescope. Then suddenly he got hit on the back and his shirt tore. The creature landed on the observatory roof. Trying to protect himself, he lay down between the wooden seat and the telescope. Only his feet were uncovered, ready to kick. Woodhouse was confused and scared. The strange creature moved around in the dark and made a lot of noise. Once it got closer, he kicked it as hard as he could. He felt a soft body with his feet. A shadow of the head with pointed ears was slightly seen in the dark. It was the size of a big dog. "Somebody, help me!" Woodhouse cried at the top of his voice. Meanwhile, the thing attacked again. He kicked out, but his ankle got caught in a row of sharp teeth. Crying out with pain, he tried to release his leg. Then he realized something. "I have the broken bottle close by." He sat up with difficulty and caught a cat-like ear in his hand. After that, he took the water bottle and hit the strange beast directly on the head. He kept hitting, aiming for the creature's face. Eventually, Woodhouse managed to free his leg and kicked out with all his strength. He had an unpleasant feeling of soft bones and fur under his foot. Then there was a painful bite on his hand and he kicked out again. Suddenly, the fighting stopped. Woodhouse was breathing heavily. All he could hear was the sound of licking somewhere in the darkness. One last match remained in his pocket. He tried to strike it, but the floor was too wet. He couldn't understand where the door was, and his leg was badly injured. There was no use in shouting. Everybody had been sleeping the whole time and could hear neither him nor the beast. Woodhouse felt sick. Passing out wouldn't be a good idea, so he tried to pull himself together and concentrate. Where was the door? He thought he could figure out where it was by looking at the stars through the skylight. Was it on the northern side of the building or on the western one? If I found the door, I would be able to escape, he thought, and then cried, "Listen, if you don't attack, I'll attack you." Then the thing started climbing up the observatory's roof, and he saw its dark shape slowly cover the skylight. Was it moving away? He forgot about the door and focused on the dome. Now he didn't feel very scared or excited. The clear spot of light with the black shape moving across it was growing smaller and smaller. That was strange. He became very thirsty but didn't feel like getting something to drink. Then everything went dark. He woke up and felt his throat burning. The first thing he saw was Thaddeus' face upside down. Then Woodhouse realized that his head was lying on Thaddeus' knees. Thaddeus was giving him some alcohol to drink. "Someone has made a horrible mess here," said Thaddeus. He looked worried. The servant was mixing eggs with brandy. Woodhouse got up heavily, feeling a sharp pain. He had bandages on his ankle, arm, and face. The floor was covered with broken glass, all in red spots. "Ugh," said Woodhouse. "Who did all this? It wasn't my fault." Then he remembered the terrible creature. "What was I fighting with?" he asked Thaddeus. "I don't know," he replied. "Whatever it was, you don't need to bother yourself with it now. Drink some more brandy, please." However, Thaddeus was very curious. He had to make an effort to wait until Woodhouse got enough sleep. Then they started to talk. "I think it was the biggest bat I've ever met," Woodhouse cried with excitement. It had short ears and soft brown fur. Its wings were smooth as if made of leather. Its teeth were perfectly sharp but not strong enough. Fortunately, it didn't manage to bite through my ankle. "It was close," added Thaddeus. "That is all I know about the beast." "Our conversation was too short and we didn't have enough time to introduce ourselves," joked Woodhouse. "The natives talk about a mysterious animal named Big Colugo. It doesn't usually attack people, but I guess you might have scared it," smiled Thaddeus. "I do not doubt that there are many things in the world," said Woodhouse, "especially in the forest of Borneo, that we don't know about. But if Borneo's animals are going to show me more surprises, I'd rather it happen when I'm not busy in the observatory at night and alone."
Get more stories in the Iwa app. Read, listen to the audiobooks of different genres, learn new words in one click, improve your English with Iwa. Check out appiwa.com. Hit the like button and the notification bell. This way we will know that you want more audiobooks like this. And now, stay for another story in English.